Welcome back everyone to another episode of The Road Chose Me. My name's Dan Grech and today we are exploring the Finke River Gorge. So we've driven all the way up into the Northern Territory. I've never been here before. You can see how red the dirt is, how barren this landscape is. But we're gonna drive down this river gorge, which should have some water in it, beautiful rock formations, and there should be plenty of four-wheel driving as well. We're teaming up with Matt in his Ford Maverick. Let's go and have some adventures and see what we find in the Finke River Gorge. Just to mix things up, I've jumped in the Maverick with Matt, and so him and I are going to blast along in this thing while Katie drives the Jeep. Let's see how we go. So we've just turned off to drive down the Finke River Gorge. And so this is the Finke River we're driving in. And have a look how beautiful this is. These stunning, stunning rock walls. And we're basically just driving in the river valley now, in the canyon for the next, I think it's 100 kilometers. It's gonna take us a couple of days. We're gonna camp part way. And we've all been talking about how much water flows through here and when does it flow through? When do they get floods? And check this out, we're seeing evidence. This is all the stuff that's stuck in the tree here, obviously being pushed here by flood. And I'm gonna say maybe that was this year. There was huge floods in January and I think March. And have a look how high it goes up the tree. That is way above 10 feet. That's 15 feet up there, like 4 or 5 meters. All of this is underwater at the right time of year. So imagine how intense it would be to be here in this canyon when the water is ripping through that high. I can hardly even imagine it. Right now it is beautiful green trees, red rock. We are just having an amazing time exploring along. check out this beautiful campsite we've just found on the Finke River. We came down into the deep sand and the Jeep kind of sank a little bit. So the kitchen and everything's way lower than it normally is, but I reckon that's a problem for tomorrow. Matt had no trouble getting down here at all in the Maverick. He just went fishing actually and caught a little bony brim or something over there. And we've got a campfire going tonight, and there's a very special reason we have a campfire going. Let's have yet another Aussie classic. Maybe it's an Aussie classic. This is a kangaroo tail. And when I say kangaroo tail, I mean the tail of a kangaroo. So this is quite a delicacy for Aboriginal people here in Australia, and we were just in a community, and so we bought this. It was $10.79, and you'll be happy to know that it's made from 100% Australian ingredients. I'd be a little bit worried if it wasn't. And so the deal is, you cook this in the coals on the fire. It's actually still got the skin on it and the fur and everything, and then when it's cooked, you kind of peel off the skin and eat what's on the inside. Apparently it's a real delicacy. It has a real certain flavor to it. So that's why we've got a campfire going. We're waiting for the coals to burn down. In the meantime, I am just blown away. Look how stunning this canyon is, the beautiful rock, the amazing campsite that we've found here. Once again, I don't know if it gets any better than this. Just going to enjoy ourselves, wait for the stars to come out and tuck into our kangaroo tail. Perfect. So we've reached an exciting milestone. We just threw the kangaroo tail in the fire. Not really sure what's going to happen, but we're trying it. So we've got the Dutch oven there in the coals with a whole bunch of veggies in there, potatoes, pumpkin. And then over here, this is the kangaroo tail. See how black it is on that one side, all the fur's kind of like burning off. And we think this is how you do it. You just let it kind of burn off the fur like that, and it'll slowly cook. We think about 10 minutes. We're going to turn it over a few times. I'm going to pull it out and see how it goes. What could go wrong? So here we go. We're getting into the kangaroo tail. Matt's just slicing and dicing. We're trying to get off all kind of the charcoaly bits and the sand that got on it. There's a big bone that runs down the middle of it. So we're just kind of like hacking away, almost like ribs or something. We're trying to get the meat off the bone. And you can see what it looks like over here on the plate. I mean, that looks pretty good to me. We cooked it, I'd say it's a little less than well done actually. So it's, well, it's cooked, but it isn't overdone. It's kind of soft and juicy. Let's see how it tastes. It's very fatty. It's good. It's good. It's like it's a more tender part of the kangaroo than I've ever eaten before. Way more tender than the steak that you get. Oh yeah, and it has a ton of flavor. It tastes maybe like turkey, a little bit like the dark meat of a turkey. It's good. It's good. Kangaroo tail. Matt's going crazy finding the good bits of it now.
There you go.
So there you go. We were not expecting to eat kangaroo tail, but here we are by the fire out in the desert. The stars are out. There's a sliver of moon in the sky. This is incredible. Good morning, everyone, and what a stunning morning it is. We can't bring ourselves to leave our wonderful little campsite. Katie's doing some yoga over there. Matt's fishing here in a little stream. The place is stunning. And something I wanted to show you that we found, we obviously had a visitor in camp last night. We found dingo tracks all over the place. So dingoes are like Australia's wild dogs. And so you can see its tracks here right along the riverbank. And these actually went all the way into camp and kind of obviously examining the campfire. And so yeah, dingoes are the really famous one. Lindy Chamberlain back in, I want to say the late 80s, "A dingo ate my baby" is the quote. And that was really close to here. That was camping at Uluru, Ayers Rock, where she told detectives or police that a dingo took the baby out of the tent and then killed the baby and probably ate it. And for years and years, it's been a huge controversy. She was eventually found guilty of murder and went to jail, but then she was released and found not guilty. And basically it goes back and forward every 5 or 10 years. Supposedly they find new evidence or whatever. But in recorded history, a dingo has never actually attacked an adult. So are they capable of it? I would say definitely yes. They're kind of wolves, they're kind of coyotes. But is it something that adults really need to worry about? I don't think so. But anyway, here we are with Matt fishing down on the river. He is catching one of these things pretty much every single cast. Nice work, Matt. This is a bony brim, we think. We're not experts, but they're just little guys, but they actually put up a little bit of a fight, and it's pretty entertaining because it's fishing made easy. It's actually catching, which we both enjoy, instead of just casting all day and not catching anything. So this is our morning. We're about to hit the road, and we're just going to continue on down the Finke Gorge, as beautiful as it is.
Whoa, 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 whoa!
So as you saw, it has been a really beautiful day driving through the Finke Gorge, and we found this amazing place to camp. Matt's down there tending to the fire. We're getting some coals ready. This is where we're going to camp. So we've got the two vehicles. You see these beautiful big gum trees here that we're camping under. This place is amazing. We're really enjoying it. And we decided to stop here because basically from here the trail jags off and leaves the river. So this will kind of be the last time we see it, the last time we get to enjoy it. And so last night you saw us cook on the fire. We did a bit of an experiment. Matt has now lent us his Dutch oven, his big cast iron steel pot. So we thought we'd do something a bit fancy tonight. Katie, do you want to tell us what's for dinner?
Sure. So we're super excited to be able to borrow one of these. We're going to cook a meal, apricot chicken, which friends of ours suggested, Beat and Mel. Thanks so much. So we've got some chicken cut up here. We're going to add that into the bottom of the pan. This is a meal that's really good to like simmer for a long period of time. So it's awesome that we have this nice cast iron Dutch oven to put at the bottom. Then we're actually really short on potatoes, so I cut up some squash or some pumpkin and also some potatoes and a couple onions in there. and then also a whole bunch of carrots and more pumpkin. I'm basically just gonna fill this whole thing up with veggies if they all fit. And then...
By the way, this is just dinner for Katie and I. Matt's going to have his own food. So just have a look at the quantity. Good stuff.
Normally you'd add a lot of sultanas or raisins and also some more dried apricots. But we just have a few apricots left, and then I supplemented with some cabbage because we know we're going back to Alice Springs, and why not add some more vegetables? So we've really filled this up, which is awesome. And then the sauce, which doesn't look super appetizing, but it will be delicious. It is more apricots, apricot nectar, curry powder, turmeric, paprika, and a bit of mayonnaise, which is kind of random, but it'll help thicken things up. And then of course a bit of water. So I'm gonna mix all this together and add a bit more water, and then we'll set it on the coals and let that simmer for probably about an hour. And that'll be dinner, hopefully.
Sounds delicious to me. Matt and I are just building up the coals, so we'll throw this thing on and we'll give you an update when we lift the lid in, 45 minutes. We'll check it out, see how it's going. So here we go. We've just taken it out of the fire, and let's have a look inside, get this lid off of here. Trying not to drop the lid, which feels difficult right now. Oh, that looks pretty good to me. Katie, do you want to get out a ladle of it?
Absolutely.
Here we go. Dinner is served, cooked on the fire. This looks absolutely fantastic. There is definitely chicken underneath. We better make sure we get some of that. Thank you, thank you. Maybe I'll try it.
Go, have a bite.
Thanks.
Come.
Cooked on the fire. Here it comes. This looks fantastic. Some chicken, some potato. Oh, there's a ton of spices underneath that, and it's hot and it's delicious. So there we go. Dinner cooked on the fire. I think it's time to go into full relax mode. So we're just driving out of our wild camp there on that little riverbank, and it was amazing last night. Just as we went to bed, we heard some dingoes howling in the distance, and then overnight they woke us up a couple of times. There was a big pack of them howling, and it was really fun. You could hear the big ones howling full on, and then the little baby ones were trying to have a go as well. It was pretty cute. But like I said, dingoes in recorded history have never attacked an adult, so it's not something we're really worried about. But then it's really cool driving out now. You can see how red this road is, how beautiful it is. We just came across 4 dingoes on the road. So there were 3 of them about 50 yards in front of us, and they were kind of looking at us and trotting along. And I stopped to let Matt catch up. And then another one popped out of the bushes right next to us. He was 10, 15 yards away from us. It was really good to get such a good look at them. They're kind of nearly as big as a German Shepherd, but just kind of skinnier and like slighter in frame. And a similar colour. They're sort of goldeny, yellowy, not tan, but sort of in that direction. So they blend in really well around here with this kind of yellowy grass and the red dirt and all of that. So this has been an amazing trip down the Fink Gorge. Again, way more adventurous kind of than I knew or that I planned for. And this is one of those trips where I just love having such a capable vehicle, because even though I didn't really know there was going to be some low range 4-wheel driving, you know, the vehicle can do it whenever I need it to. We found some amazing campsites. It was really fun to travel with Matt. He actually reminds me a lot of myself when I was 24. I guess I'm not 24 anymore. And he's going to do a half lap of Australia. So if you want to check out his Instagram, it's fanging it, which is an expression in Australian, which kind of means like drive like a hoon, which is another Australian expression, which means like, you know, drive fast, do burnouts, do donuts, all that kind of stuff. So I'll throw a link to his Instagram down in the description if you want to check out Matt's trip around Australia. And yeah, thanks again for watching. Glad you came along on this Finke River Gorge trip. It's been absolutely incredible. And if you'd like to camp where we did, if you'd like to follow our track, all my GPS track logs and campsites, I'm making them available to supporters over on Patreon right now. So there's a link in the description for that. You get behind the scenes content, you get early access to these videos, and we can one-on-one video chat about anything you like, whether it's your trip or your vehicle or whatever, all of that. Check it out over on Patreon now. And until next time, we cannot wait. More adventures here in the Red Centre, and then the big Simpson crossing is coming soon. So thanks again for watching. Have fun out there, and maybe we'll bump into you on the road.